So yeah, we can do all our communications here. We can also do communication only to internal people. So like with the @ we can say only to Mitchell admin, we want to log something. So there's somebody else, Victor, that wants to join.
Разговорът е на изчакване. Моля, останете на линия. The call is put on hold. Please wait.
I'm just muting that. Okay, let's. Yeah, I think he's here.
Okay.
Good to have you here, Ivan.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. So these are the things that we can do in the chatter, and this applies to every object in Odoo. So whenever you have, so when the customer responds to these emails that are sent, the response will always show up again in the chatter, and you will also see the response either through an email or through this chatter here. So you can see all the chats that are coming from internal people within the company, because this is also like an internal chat mechanism. But also it will show the emails that you receive from your customers. And you will also see the email in your mailbox. Also, you can use these channels, like, I don't know if you know Slack, but Slack is a kind of group chat application, but it's also integrated into Odoo. And by the way, when you start chatting, for example, I'm going to chat with Mitchell admin, you can also even do video calls from within Odoo, because Odoo has all the video call capabilities. And I think in the newer version that is coming out this year, they will also have transcripts, automatic transcripts that are stored, etc. So there's a lot of things that you can do with the chatter and with communication overall in Odoo. Now, once we can also add attachments here as much as we want. We can add attachments that are linked in the chatter, so to keep them stored with your document in this case. Now, what we can also do at a certain moment when the communication is ready and we know that we can go to a sale, is we can create a new quotation. Maybe before I explain that, maybe one other thing that I would like to just point out is that Odoo has this lead mining generation, which is in fact a way to generate leads based on industries that you're interested in, size of companies that you want to contact. So you can create this mining lead. You do pay a small fee for it. It's an in-app purchase that you pay for, but you can just really, select your industries, etc., and it will just generate for you a bunch of leads that you can then start following up from within the CRM app. So I just wanted to mention that.
Great. Actually, as we are here, Robin, and I think that's a great addition. It just we shall think of it as a database, and instead of buying the data from somewhere else, considering that Odoo is so well developed in so many different directions, you can do that within Odoo, and it's automatically populated. But as we are on the leads, I would like, there is one new feature that
Yes.
being part of the industry of food and beverage and also going to exhibitions, I know how valuable this is going to be. So this is new, and I would love to see that. So it's related to actually being at an exhibition or being a salesperson and getting business card from a lead. This is something for me that I've been dreaming for that feature, and we're going to see how it works. So it's called that within the Odoo, you'll be able to scan the business card and populate all the details while using your Odoo app on the phone.
Yeah.
And I frankly do not like so much the exhibition scanning apps, because I know all the manual work that's happening afterwards. And I just would like us to show that before we go on to the sales quotation, invoices, etc.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to try to share my, I think I'm going to try it. Let's try it, because it's mirroring on my other screen. So I'll have to show this entire screen here. I hope this works.
Nice.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So I opened already. So this is also important to know. Odoo is also mobile compliant. Everything works as you would expect on mobile as it would on the desktop version. So there are even a couple of applications. If you use, for example, inventory, you have a barcode app, etc., which is perfect for mobile phones. But here we can see our CRM pipeline again, as on desktop, but there is something that is called scan business cards. So when you click this, you can say, okay, I'm going to take a photo or video, and I already have something prepared here, a business card that I have. So when I take a photo of this and I say use photo, what it now does is it will use the OCR capabilities of Odoo to automatically, generate the opportunity like this. So it found the name of the person, the phone number. So yeah, that's what Odoo now can do automatically.
I was dreaming for this feature for many years.
Perfect.
Thank you, Lord.
So let me show my other screen again. So if I go back now to my screen, and I will show my pipeline, I will refresh it here. So you can see there's now Matthias Wageman's opportunity, which has now been added. And I can see also that this is the scanned photo that we took. This is something that you will see in a lot of places in Odoo, this OCR scanning. It's there, for example, for vendor bills, for expense notes, etc. It uses OCR recognition, in fact, which is very nice. Certainly in accounting, it works very well for scanning your vendor bills and things like that. Okay, so I'm gonna go. I'm still, for now, for some reason, I'm still on. I'm gonna switch back to Bulgarian. Okay, so that's going to be much easier for me. So I have my opportunity, and after all communication has been done, I want to convert this to a quotation because I know that the customer wants an offer. So with quotations, we can start adding products ourselves like this from a list. We can use the catalog to add products to our, so it's very easy to add products from here. You can see some of these products even have variants. Variants are like these things like you have for t-shirts, t-shirt sizes, t-shirt colors, etc. for the same product. But what I'm going to show you is something more interesting. In fact, is even quotation templates. So you can beforehand create these templates with already certain components added, like in this case. So it adds already some components because you do these kinds of offers multiple times. What is also interesting, in fact, is that you have this quote builder, which allow you to say, okay, I have this custom or these standard headers. I have a standard about us page. I have some terms and conditions and testimonials that I want to add. And okay, it detects that there is a certain product in the order line for which there is also a document, like a kind of a data sheet, which you can also enable, which even can contain placeholders. Like they have to be created with Adobe Acrobat. So you do have to have a license of Adobe Acrobat, and then you can just adapt your own PDF files, add some placeholders in there, which you can then automatically fill with data from Odoo or have them manually filled with data, like in this case. So let's add all these things.
I just want to pause for a sec here.
Yes.
Like being a marketeer myself, not just from a marketing point of view where you could add the presentation or the company overview, but here, speaking of the business of Suico, you could add the spec sheets, very particular per product. So that means that this quote builder could be even attached to a specific product, and we could be adding all the spec sheets per product. And once we are sending the quotation, we have everything in one place that looks and feels the same, and also builds the reputation and the brand equity further in front of the customer.
Yeah, exactly.
We prepare a predefined this quote builder because we don't want to depend on the particular salesperson to make it every time different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Yeah. So exactly that's why this predefined headers and footers, etc., can be there, and actually they can be configured. Well, they can be configured in the sales app, but now I'm still in the CRM app. Let's show it here. That's going to be easier.
Yeah, it can be on a product, it can be on an order, like it can go as granular as you want. In
Here
fact,
you have a place where you can add all your headers and footers for your quotes, and you can specify is it a header, is it a footer, and you can also specify, which is interesting, is to say add it by default to all your quotations. This is new, and then whenever it has certain fields that you can automatically populate from the Odoo database, there's something you have to do in Acrobat, then you can edit those fields here. I cannot show it in this example, but I can use it on, I can show it on large meeting table, I think. See, there is one document in here, like a data sheet. This one, it's set to be inside of a quote. And you can edit it and you can see the dynamic fields. See, those are the dynamic fields that you can edit when you add the document, but they don't have to be manually added. They can be automatically added also with fields from your order. So this is how that works actually. Now, when we now look at our PDF code and we generate it, then you will see that we have a combination of all these. Yeah, so you can see our header, which actually automatically has some dynamic fields filled in, like this, the order number and the name of the customer. Some things here, like this is a data sheet of the large meeting table. This is our quotation itself, for which we didn't set a logo yet, but that's something you do one time. And then we have the testimonials and the terms and conditions. So it creates a nice quotation for you with no effort, in fact. What is also interesting is with these quotation templates that you define, you can also define like an Excel, a spreadsheet behind that does some more complicated calculations. Things like, okay, what is going to be the transport cost, depending on the van that I need to choose and stuff like that. So it will really look. So this spreadsheet, for example, now contains a list of all the products. So it knows exactly the volume of the products from the database, because that are some of the fields in Odoo. It will have knowledge of all the order lines on the order. And okay, there's some instructions on how to use this sheet. And now actually you can make some changes. Okay, the carpenter is going to work 20 hours and everything will be calculated accordingly. And so these figures, like the total assembly and the transport cost, etc., they are now calculated based on a lot of other features, and you can just save them back into your order without ever, see, and now it's inserted, without ever having to go to Excel or to something else. Everything is integrated within Odoo. So as a salesperson, very easy to work with. We also enabled pro forma invoices, something you can just enable in Odoo to start using this. And also, what is important in Odoo is that you can have approvals on every single button. So on every screen, every button of every screen, you can add approvals onto it. So, and these approval flows can be very complicated, multiple steps and multiple approvers. I now enabled it for this confirm button, and you can see, for example, okay, this is awaiting approval. So because so I can now give an approval, or if you are a salesperson who does not have this approval rights, when you click on this button, it will be sent as a task, as an activity on an approver. The approver can then approve. The salesperson will be notified again that it's now approved, and then can continue the confirmation. Now, there are two ways to, so we're still in the status of quotation. There are two ways to make a quotation.
If we need, can we switch off this?
Yes, I just enabled it because by default it's not enabled. Yeah, I just for showing the approval process, I just enabled it here so you can do it. It's now approved, but that's not by default. It's not by default.
so that means that you don't have any type of complications in your process, Mariana. It's
No.
just straightforward. We need to sell, right?
By default, you don't have approvals, no. So when you want to move your quotation to a sales order, so either you send it to the customer. So if I send it, I have a kind of a predefined template for that, but you can change that template again. You can use placeholders in those templates and stuff like that, etc. If you send it to the customer will get an email, and that email has a link to the portal, to a portal view. You can see this portal view beforehand as a salesperson by clicking on preview. This is what the customer will see exactly. So this is the portal feature of Odoo. So Odoo has a backend, which we already saw, which we're working with, and then it has a portal. Now, by default, the portal, you can give portal access to your customers to show so that they can see. Somebody wants to join the call, Victor. So by default, customers don't have portal view, except for when they receive an email with a quotation, then they see this one page. But you can also give your customers portal view so they can see their own invoices, their own quotations, their even tasks, documents, etc. Now, from here, the customer can now sign and optionally pay the order. And they can even order extra options if you enable this. In this case, for the quotation template, there are some optional products that they can even add themselves to the order. And then at a certain point, they can say, okay, yes, I want to sign it and even pay it through Stripe. So there are a couple of payment options. So first of all, I'm going to sign it. You can do it with automatic signing, or we can draw it like this, accept and sign. And now there is the next step, which is the payment process. So in this case, there can be different payment options. You can also disable that payment is not needed. Now, in this case, payment has not been enabled yet in this database. So I have two options: to disable online payment or to activate one of the payment providers. I can quickly show you this. It's very easy to do. You go here, you can see these are the payment providers that Odoo supports, like Molly, Stripe, Worldline, wire transfer, SEPA, etc. But there is also a demo one that I can use for now. PayPal is there also. I will just enable the demo so that I can continue, in fact. So let's go back. Okay, let's see. So pay now. I probably have to refresh this page. Yes, see, now I have my demo payment provider, which would normally be their card that they can use. I can pay it. And my order has now been moved from a quotation to sales order. So it's confirmed. And I can see now that it's a sales order. I have all my information here, like, okay, the bank payment, etc., that it's paid by bank, etc. Everything is there. Now, in this case, for this specific quotation template, there is a product in here that also creates a project. So in Odoo, we have this project concept that is very powerful, actually. That can do a lot of things with it for more complex quotations, let's say. So I think furniture assembly, one of these products is defined to be like a service and also creates an assigned project for it. So you can click on the project, you can see, this is home construction, because the furniture has to be constructed, etc., at the customer site in this case. And I can even see there's already some tasks to be done that are linked to this project. And we can even start working with creating other sales orders linked to this project, creating invoices.
A question here about the project module.
Yes.
So now we are seeing the
Yes.
tasks, but can we make a subtask
Yes.
to them?
So when you go into a task, you can have subtasks here.
Okay, and the subtasks are, we have only assignees, but do we have term?
Sorry?
Do we have a term, a deadline?
Yes. So for every, yeah, because a subtask is again another task. So if I create another subtask here and I go into the view, then again it shows up as a complete task with its own deadline.
Okay.
Yeah, and the thing is, in fact, so there, whenever you have these tasks and subtasks defined, you can always go to your Gantt view to start assigning them to your people.
This
Like,
was my next question. Do you have a Gantt?
Yeah, indeed. So you can just click on the test and it shows here, you can even drag it so that there is also an end time. So that's not only the start time of the deadline, but also the end time, etc. And then you can just start assigning tasks very easily. So there's a lot of possibilities that you have, even using milestones, because there's a couple of milestones defined. You can have things like you have a dashboard where you can see all the progress of the project, like also the profitability, like the revenue and the cost of the materials, or if you do subcontracting, also those costs that you can really see how much do I will be my profit. And you can see here the milestones. You can see progress updates. So you can always create like, okay, we are at risk at a certain point. So with some text here by default, there's a lot of places in Odoo, like almost every object has it, where you can edit HTML. So and the HTML is very, very powerful. You can do a lot of things with these HTML fields, and they're everywhere in Odoo. So, but anyway,
Robin, I'm really sorry I know that the conversation is going very fluently towards the project, but I would go back to the sales just to finish. And maybe we can take a look at the project because there is so much to say there.
Yes, correct.
And maybe when we go to the sales, one thing that I wanted to add, speaking of the freight and the costs that you could calculate through the spreadsheet, you can even keep it more simple, just integrating with the courier provider and taking the quote actually from them and just adding it immediately to your order. So just to make it clear that that's also possible and much more simple.
It's a very good point. So when you go to configuration, you have all these shipping methods like SendCloud, UPS, FedEx, etc., which allow you to have it calculated automatically based on the volume and the weight of the products inside of your sales order. And then you can also create, of course, your shipping labels from within the quotation. Yeah, so that will be allowed. That will allow you to do that. Okay, so we're back into the sales order. At a certain point, we will be able to create our invoices. So we just can create an invoice. And here you can ask for a down payment, or we just create a regular invoice, let's say. So now we're in the invoice screen. Now in this screen, we can, when I think here in this database, we just enabled the invoicing, but you can also enable accounting. And when you enable accounting, you have the full capabilities of using the ledger, the charter of accounts, so that you can, for every line here, specify which chart of account you want to use for that, the account number, so that it's completely linked. It's a complete accounting app which is integrated into Odoo and which is actually part of your license. You don't have to pay extra for it. Everything is included. So we can start confirming this, and it automatically detects that there is already a payment done for this invoice because it was paid through the portal. But it's in payment. It's not paid yet because, in fact, in Odoo, or actually in every accounting, you should always check with your bank account to be sure that it's there. Because maybe the website or the customer can say they paid it, but it has to be checked. And this is all possible. I'm going to open it in a separate tab. It's going to make it a little bit easier. So with invoicing, you can connect to any bank, also in Bulgaria. You can connect a bank. You can have multiple bank. Here you can see all your journals. You have the sales journal. You have the purchases journal. You have the bank journal, cash journal, etc. Your tax returns are in here. for your VAT listings, and etc. When you enable accounting, you have much more there. But anyway, you can already look at your bank transactions, and you can start linking them with your invoices and with your vendor bills, so that Odoo knows and Odoo tells you which ones have really been paid, which ones have been checked with your bank that have been paid, so that you have a good overview. You go to sales, which ones have been paid, which ones have not been paid, which are in payment, etc. The same thing for your purchases. You can keep track of that. You can automatically send reminders to your contacts, so to your customers here. You can, when you have your customers, you will be able to see when the screen opens. Yeah, so you will be able to see for every customer. It's actually here in the, where is it, here in the follow-ups of your invoices. At what time they need to be reminded that there's overdue invoices. So this one, for example, has overdue invoices. So we can see this immediately.
Maybe it's fair to say, like, there is so much to say in terms of like for Odoo, accounting, manufacturing, project management are actually the applications where most developers are focused on. So you could imagine those applications are really sophisticated, and the possibilities definitely, you know, to go over them, it's not gonna be enough, not one hour, but maybe a full day for sure. But what I would do, Robin, if you don't mind, is I would actually, like, we've seen the sales process, and from starting the quotation, sales, and invoice, and I think that's complete. But I think also for Ivan and Mariana, what will make a lot of sense is to take a look at the dashboard and the KPIs and how the reporting part actually could be really customized based on the company needs.
So by default, Odoo has a dashboard app which shows you, for the apps that have been installed, some standard KPIs. So for example, in this case, it's demo data, of course, but we can see, we can filter on a lot of things here, and it will filter all the data on this page. You can see the top country sales, top products, top sales orders, top quotations, some scorecards here with revenue and the average order size, etc., etc. But you can really change all these things, and everything will be automatically refreshed. You can see the product sales, the best sellers, etc., your leads, etc., how long they took to convert a lead into an opportunity or to a quotation, and things like that. So there's a lot of things that you can do also on finance, cash received, profitability, invoicing, benchmarking with, again, other scorecards. But what is more important even is that this can be completely customized. Because these are actually spreadsheets in Odoo. They show up as a HTML page, but they can be, so you can go to configuration dashboards. I'm just going to show you quickly, but if you look at the sales section, for example, you see there were two pages there, the sales and the product page. I can just click it and I can just change everything. I can see here you have the properties. This is a scorecard based on data that's coming from E7, which is in here. So it looks at this data somehow. We can see these lists. We can show these list properties, change the filtering of them, you know, add new lists. It's just a complete spreadsheet with data coming from different sources in Odoo. From actually every it's a kind of a database, and everything can be aggregated within this spreadsheet. They're very powerful. It's a kind of Excel kind of spreadsheet with the pivot tables and lookups coming from database tables, etc., with a lot of ways to define your chart, etc. So it's a kind of a BI environment, like Power BI from Microsoft, but completely focused on your Odoo database. You can do everything here, what you can also do in Power BI.
Like AI is great, but if AI doesn't have a context, while here actually your context is your business and it's fully integrated and then becomes so powerful.
Yeah. So, and of course, besides the dashboard that is already there, every app will have its own reporting. So for example, if I go to CRM, I have reporting on the forecast. I have reporting on my pipelines. So my opportunity is created on 2025. I can show it differently on different measures. So now it's on the count, but I can see on exceeded closing days, on expected monthly revenue, etc., etc. So all these things can be changed. I can see them in a different way. So there's a lot of things that we can do, and this actually applies to all the apps in Odoo. So for sales, there's other things. So I can see my global sales. This is now on my. I can see quantity invoiced, etc., etc. I can show it on salesperson. So for example, if you want to work with commissions on your salespeople, you can do that. It's also something you can enable in Odoo, and you can see per salesperson their quotas or their goals and what they delivered on. Everything can be done on products. Okay, what are the most sold ones, etc., etc. Show this in another way. So it's very, very, very powerful. And every app has these kind of things. For invoicing, of course, even more, partner ledger, etc., etc. But accounting has even much, much more than this. But so yeah.
I think here you made a point. Looking at the faces, I think you made the point on the reporting very, very strongly. Thank you for the demo.